Hey guys, how you doing? Today we're going to be looking at the top 20 Dynasty wide receiver rankings.
James will start with number one.
All right, so we're starting off with JSN. Absolutely unreal year. He's going to the Super Bowl. Going to be very excited to see how he matches up against Gonzo in a big game. He's been Sam Darnold's safety net all year. Underneath routes, deep routes, down the seam, in the slot. Really can run the whole route tree, spread the entire field out. He's a quarterback's best friend. Going to be a great receiver for a very, very long time.
And at number two, I got Jamar Chase. I put him just slightly above Puka Nakua. They're probably in the same tier. You could flip flop them any way you want. But I just feel like Chase, he's tied to Joe Burrow. He gets a ton of production no matter who the quarterback is. If you saw with Joe Flacco, obviously Browning wasn't great, but Browning's not really a starting quarterback anywhere, whereas Joe Flacco is. Jamar Chase, he's pretty much guaranteed to have a top five, at the absolute worst top 10 season overall. And I feel like number two is a good spot for him.
Absolutely agree. Going here at number three, we're going Puka Nakua, the absolute beast from LA. He's so good in open field. I saw the way he was bullying DBs all playoffs. Love it. Sean McVay gets him in open space. He's amazing. Another guy deep on a crossing route, down the seam. I'm sure there's no one a DB would rather see less than Puka Nakua. He's awesome. Rack, route runner, awesome. I'm so excited to see him keep developing as a receiver, keep getting better with the body control and all that stuff. Super great at the catch point as well. Really not many weaknesses to say at all with Puka. Fantastic player going in number three.
Just coming off a wide receiver one overall season as well.
I know no wide receiver one has repeated in like 4 or 5 years. Interesting to see how he does.
All right, I'm going to go with Malik Neighbors at number four, just because this guy, he's only 22 years old. He's got Jackson Dart now. He's got a competent quarterback. He's got John Harbaugh as the HC now, so that's going to be pretty good. I feel like sky's the limit for him when he comes back. We saw his rookie year. If he didn't get hurt, he would have been the wide receiver one overall, which is unreal with like Daniel Jones and their quarterback woes. But nonetheless, Malik Neighbors, just sky high potential. I think he's got a wide receiver one overall season in him. And I wouldn't be shocked if it's this coming season, despite the ACL tear.
Absolutely. Coming in at number five, we got CD Lamb, wide receiver one from a couple of years ago. He didn't have the best year this year. He's facing some injuries. He had much more target competition now. Totally expect him to be the wide receiver one again next year with a fully healthy year. Dak absolutely slinging that thing. No one really talked about how great Dak was this year because the Dallas defense was so horrible. But him throwing it down the seams to CD and to Pickens, I'm so excited to see that. I think they're going to open up the deep ball even more next year with Shoddy. Very excited to see a healthy CD in this offense with Shoddy and Dak doing what they're doing right now.
And at number six, I gotta go Justin Jefferson. This guy was a consensus top three dynasty receiver just last year, but he slid a bit with JJ McCarthy, really hurting his value there. But I feel like they're going to bring in a veteran quarterback to compete with JJ McCarthy, and I feel like that veteran is going to win the job, and that's going to reinvigorate Justin Jefferson. He's probably going to be a top three dynasty receiver next year again. His talent is just through the roof.
All right, number seven, we're going Amon-Ra St. Brown of the Lions. He's fantastic. Even after losing Ben Johnson, a lot of conversation about that. He still had a great year. I think he's a fantastic receiver. I think he's a lot more of a modern receiver type. We're seeing a lot more guys that can move inside and out, work the middle of the field, and run down the sideline. Another guy who's a great rack player. Love the explosiveness he plays with. We saw the passion he was playing with against his division rivals this year. That famous end zone celebration. I loved Amon-Ra St. Brown this year. Absolutely love watching him play. Great over the middle of the field, get the ball in his hands. Excited to see what the new OC will be doing with him in Detroit.
And at number eight, I got the first rookie on the list, Mekhi Lemon. I feel like he's in a tier personally above Tyson and Tate. I just feel like the explosiveness is there, the floor is there. You can't ask for more. I just think above Drake London, who's going to be at number nine, I just feel like he has more upside than him and a higher floor, just with the kind of uncertainty of the Atlanta Falcons next season.
I would absolutely agree with that because we're going with Drake London at number nine. And yeah, that's the quarterback play is what mostly scares me with because we're not getting the same Kirk Cousins that was giving Justin Jefferson those seasons anymore. And we don't know what we're going to get out of Michael Penix week in and week out, let alone if he's going to be their long-term starter. Very interested to see how London operates in that offense with a questionable QB situation. Nonetheless, contested catch ball winner all day, like fantastic, made some unbelievable catches this year. Truly a great player, wide receiver one, absolute true X player. Interested to see how it goes in that offense this year and how he recovers from that injury.
And at number 10, I got Rashee Rice. I just feel like whenever he and Mahomes are healthy on the field together, it's undisputed. This guy is pretty much a top 5 fantasy receiver week in, week out. We see the productions there. Nobody's really competing with him for targets in Kansas City. Travis Kelce might be gone, and Patrick Mahomes will be coming back healthy next season. So I got no worries about him being at number 10.
Next up, we're going Nico Collins, a guy who's a complete game changer. We saw how that Houston offense looked without him in the divisional round against the Patriots. He is a real safety net for CJ Stroud. He's emerged as the wide receiver one, another true X wide receiver, going to be going down the seam, making those big plays, contested catches in the red zone, all that. Very excited to see him have a full health year. I know he's been nagged by some injuries the past couple of years, right? When he starts to get those big games, get going, try and prove that he's a top 5 kind of player. Want to see a full healthy season from him. Looking for a rebound from CJ Stroud. I still think he's a good quarterback. They just got to get the offensive line around him.
And I got the second rookie on the list here, Carnell Tate at number 12. I just feel like this guy also has a massive floor similar to Mekhi Lemon. His hands are unbelievable. Coming from Ohio State, you can't really go wrong with him. I just feel like he's got higher upside than Ted McMillan. McMillan's got a better floor, but I just feel like the upside is higher than Ted McMillan here on this list.
Yeah, I agree. The safe hands, man. I think he's going to be a quarterback's dream at the next level. Next up, we got Jordan Tyson, another prospect I'm very excited for. His brother actually plays for the Cavs. Really, really good basketball player, drafted in the first round. Seen a lot of mock drafts putting him in Cleveland. Would love to see the Tyson brothers going up and skywalking in Cleveland. I'm sure a lot of people would love to see that. But I think this guy, without the injury concerns, I think he would be the undisputed wide receiver one of the class. I think he's got a good Justin Jefferson kind of a comp where he really wins at the top of routes. He can run the whole route tree, safe hands, kind of a bigger body that can still move very well. Kind of a rack nightmare for DBs as well, move all over the field while being mostly an XZ kind of a guy. Big guy, wins at the catch point, great athleticism. Other than the injury concerns, I know he's had the collarbone, the hamstring, and I know he had the ACL in his sophomore year. So only really worried about the ACL there. But I'm confident that Jordan Tyson's going to be an absolute stud at the next level if he can stay healthy, and he will get top 15 draft cap.
And I got to go Ted McMillan at number 14 here. He had a fantastic rookie season, in the running for Offensive Rookie of the Year, which would be great. On a bad offense, too. Bryce Young, he rarely gets 3,000 yards passing, and the guy still had a 1,000-yard season. So, the sky's the limit with that guy. If that's his floor, what can his ceiling be, essentially? He was a fantastic prospect last year, but I just feel like the top 3 receivers in this draft just have a bit higher of a ceiling than Ted McMillan. Nonetheless, Ted McMillan, if you have him, if you're a rebuilder, you're probably pretty happy with who you got. I think 14 is a good spot for him.
Coming in at 15 is a guy that was listed ahead of him for a lot of the year. It's Emeka Egbuka, a guy who was overlooked in the draft prospect because of who he's playing next, kind of similarly to Carnell Tate. Story for a lot of OSU wide receivers, but he's a great wide receiver, really team first guy, great blocking, great route running. Doesn't demand the ball. He's not a diva, real chain mover. He actually called his first touchdown to win the game on his first ever game. He was like, I'm going to run the post. He audibled it with Baker. Great connection with him. I think we saw that fade later in the year. Baker was clearly playing with a shoulder injury. I think there's a lot of issues. They fired their OC. I think the issues go a lot deeper than that. Coaching in Tampa Bay. Obviously, the target competition increased dramatically once we saw Mike Evans come back, who was Baker's old safety net. I think in the future, we're going to see him develop that Mike Evans kind of role. I really do, where he's consistent, right around 1,000 yards, right around 7-8 touchdowns, consistent wide receiver 2, probably in a winning fantasy offense. I think he's going to be a Mike Evans replacement for a long time to come.
Number 16, George Pickens. He's coming off that top 5 receiving season. Dak Prescott spread the ball around a lot, showed those deep balls with George Pickens. He was a fantastic fantasy option for you this year. He won you a lot of leagues. Can he repeat next year? That's the biggest question. He's got some off the field issues as well. But nonetheless, I feel like George Pickens at 16, with his age, he's still very young. can't go wrong with that.
Definitely agree, especially with CD coming back healthy. All right, at 17, we're going to go with Lad McConkey. Very excited for his year. I think a lot of people have been talking down on him. He certainly had an off year. I don't think Herbert had a lot of time to be throwing. I think they relied on the run game heavily to get them through a lot of games, especially with the way their offensive line was moving. And it was a classic case of a sophomore slump. I really do think he's going to move up to that 1,100-yard form again. He's going to become the guy who's moving the chains across the middle of the field for Justin Herbert. I think he still has emerged as his favorite target, even with the first round draft capital they spent on QJ. So I'm really, really excited to see him. And even with the trust that he had in Keenan Allen, we still saw him looking more to McConkey. I think he's going to break out next year with Mike McDaniels. He seems like a real Mike McDaniels kind of player. Get over the field, win on all these kinds of routes. I'm really excited to see what they design for him. I think he's going to have a real uptick this year.
And I think similar to that, kind of a sophomore slump, is Brian Thomas Jr. He's going to be at number 18 here. I just feel like we saw he was the top 4 receiving season last year, right? He was top 4 overall receiver in fantasy, but this year he just really kind of didn't do well. I don't know whether that's like Shane Waldron, Liam Cohen, they just like spreading the ball around too much, but you know, his fantasy outlook is very murky now. I just feel like the upside we saw already, he's proven to be that talent who can be a top 5 guy. So I just can't really argue putting him any lower just because of the insane ceiling.
Next up, we're going with Garrett Wilson at 19. And I think this is the extreme example of how much situation, coaching, quarterback matters for your fantasy asset. Because truthfully, I think this is a top 10 at least talent. As a Patriots fan, he always scared the hell out of me playing him, Garrett Wilson, because he is a true X factor when he's on the field. Another guy that can win on all levels. I think a real modern receiver that can move in and outside, work the slot, work the outside, real good at the contested catch point. Truly a fantastic player he had some injuries this year, which is why he's ranking a little bit lower. And he's had really brutal quarterback play over the beginning of his career, honestly, 3.5, 4 years. So I really feel bad for Garrett Wilson, even as a division rival, because I think he's a truly amazing player. He's a player I would love to have on my fantasy team just in general with the talent. But it is absolutely torturous for, I'm sure, all the people that drafted him highly and have been holding him and waiting of yet another example of, I see the talent. When am I going to get the production to break out? And I really don't think it's been his fault. So feel bad for Garrett Wilson on that one, but that's why he ranks at 19.
And at number 20, we got Rome Odunze. He kind of had a sophomore slump as well, although he didn't have a great rookie season either. But with Ben Johnson coming there, everyone figured he's going to be a superstar. He was at the start of the year. He looked fantastic. But then he dealt with some injury issues that really, didn't help him throughout the season. He really was underwhelming. He wasn't really startable at the end of the season, and Luther Burden kind of took over that role. So that's kind of surprising to see. Will it happen again next year? I don't think so. I think it's more of an injury issue with Odunze, not so much kind of a scheme talent issue. I feel like 20 is a good spot for him here, and I feel like he'll bounce back next season. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. That was the top 20 Dynasty wide receivers. Hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe, like, and, be on the lookout for more.